Hi, thanks for joining me. My name is Tanya. I use the cash stuffing method to reach my financial goals in the hopes of retiring debt free. My income is based on a 13-week assignment, and this is week 2. All right, so let's get into the budget. All right, so my paycheck was 1846 this week, and my bills came out to 813.96. In my cash envelopes, I will be putting 150 for gas and groceries. And my sinking funds came out to 674. And my savings challenges are I'm putting 174 in there this week. So that is a total of, let's see, 150 plus 674 plus 174. 998 is what I am stuffing this week. And I have a balance of $6.50. All right, I will start where I always start, in my high priority. And we will start with the travel rent. And the travel rent will get $80. All right, and let's see what we got in there. 50, 70, 90, 100, 20, 40, 60. 160 now in the travel rent. All right, next is travel gas, and travel gas gets 20 this week. And now travel gas has 40. All right, and now to credit cards, and credit card gets 180 this week. So now we got 50, 100, 50, 70, 90, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60. So 360 now in credit cards. All right, now we have month ahead, and month ahead gets 90 this week. So it's 50, 70, 90. All right. So we got 50, 70, 90, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80. So 180 now in the month ahead. All right, next we have emergency, and emergency gets 40 this week. All right, now in emergency we have 20, 40, 60. And then we have retirement. Retirement gets 20 this week. And now retirement has 40. And next we will do my quarterly savings challenge. And this week we are doing week 2. So that's $24. So that's 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 24 into the quarterly savings. Just stick it in there and mark it off. All right, and that is it. High priority binder. Next, I will go to my lower priority. In my A6. All right, first we will start with groceries, and groceries get 125 this week. All right, and that's what it has. All right, and gas, we will do another 25 this week. And that will bring us up to 50. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put a 50 in there. All right, and car maintenance gets 20 this week. Yes, 20. All right, and car maintenance now has 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82. All right, and taxes gets 20 as well. All right, now Texas has 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20. All right, and medical gets 40 this week. 20, 40. All right, now medical has 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 25, 30, 35. 135 now in medical. All right, and self-care gets 20. And now self-care has 40. Okay, and my vacation gets 80 this week. 50, 70, 80. And now in vacation, so it has 50, 70, 90, 100, 20, 40, 60. 160 now in vacation. All right, and my debt repayment gets 40. And now in debt repayment, I have 20, 40, 60, 80. All right, and that is it for my lower priority binder for the week. And last, we will do the saving challenges. All right, savings challenge, we will start with July. This is the last week. I get to put 120. So we got 120 goes in for July, the last week. All right, and next we go to my 26-week challenge, and I am going to do the $4 in there this week. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the $20 savings challenge gets $20. And last but not least, the $30 savings gets $30. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, and that is it. So, you guys, I am officially out of money, and I have placed all my money where I needed it to go this week. So, thank you so much for joining me on my journey this week. And for all the new subscribers, thank you so much. I am just like overjoyed with the amount of support that I'm receiving from this community. So, thank you so very much. And I will see you next week. Bye.